Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so if you've ever rented a place before, you probably think you know the drill, right? You sign a lease, hand over a security deposit, grab the keys, and boom, you start unpacking boxes. But as we're gonna see today, moving into your very first Japanese apartment is a completely different reality. It literally flips that entire script right on its head.
And when I say different, I mean really different. The source material we're looking at today doesn't mince words. It explicitly calls this transition an absolute culture shock for Americans. And that's not just some exaggeration for effect. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how housing and community living are structured. What feels totally standard or normal to us is turned completely upside down over there.
So just how wild are these rules? Well, to figure that out, we need to look at 3 escalating levels of everyday living in Japan. And spoiler alert, this starts before you even move a single piece of furniture into the place. These aren't just casual, polite suggestions from a chill landlord. These are deeply ingrained, strictly mandatory systems. Let's see how this all builds up.
All right, let's start right off the bat with level 1, the financial shock.
If you thought scraping together first and last month's rent was tough, wait until you meet a practice known as key money. Before you can even cross the threshold, you have to pay what's called rake-in. Now listen closely, this is not a security deposit. A deposit is something you expect to get back if you keep the place nice and clean, right? Yeah, rake-in is entirely different. It is a mandatory, non-refundable cash gift. You are literally handing the landlord a wad of cash simply to say, thank you for letting me live here. It's a strict requirement born entirely out of pure gratitude for the lease.
I just want to pause for a second and really emphasize this because, wow, it is literally free money for the landlord. No strings attached, and there's absolutely no way you're ever getting it back. You hand over the cash, you say your thank yous, and that money is gone forever. It's really the first major sign that you are playing by a completely different set of rules.
Which brings us right to level 2, the behavioral shock.
Okay, so you've paid your non-refundable gift, you've finally moved in, and you're thinking, great, my own space, I can live exactly how I want. Actually, scratch that. You are immediately hit with the next wave of culture shock. You see, a lot of Japanese apartments have incredibly thin walls. And because of that physical setup, your everyday behavior has to be strictly monitored and modified. You definitely aren't living in some soundproof bubble. You are in very close, delicate proximity to your neighbors. Because of that thin wall reality, you're looking at some seriously strict curfews.
And when I say strict, I mean crazy specific. Enjoying a nice playlist out loud past 8 p.m.? Strictly off limits. How about deciding to catch up on chores and do a basic vacuuming of your floor on a Sunday afternoon since it's your day off? Also a major violation. Things that we honestly wouldn't even think twice about doing in our own homes become completely prohibited behaviors.
And what happens if you accidentally slip up and break these behavioral rules? Well, the stakes are pretty high. It's not just an annoyed neighbor knocking on your ceiling with a broom. No, you can actually expect an immediate, formal warning straight from the building management. This whole system is meticulously designed to rigorously enforce community peace and quiet. Trust me, there is an official, administrative response just waiting for you if you step out of line.
But the final and honestly most complex escalation, that happens in level 3, the system shock.
This shock comes from a daily chore most of us do completely on autopilot, garbage disposal. Over there, this isn't just taking out the trash. Our source literally describes it as a science project. Just look at this number, 10. That number represents the incredible complexity of this system. It represents up to 10 distinct categories that you must meticulously sort your everyday trash into. Imagine finishing a meal or opening an Amazon package and having to mentally navigate up to 10 different bins. Wild, right? The daily procedure breaks down exactly like an exhausting science project. First step, sort everything perfectly into those 10 categories. Second, and this absolutely blows my mind, you literally have to write your own name on your garbage bag. You are permanently claiming ownership of your trash. And third, you can't just chuck things in a dumpster whenever it's convenient for you. You are only allowed to take it out on strictly assigned days of the week. Now, here is where community enforcement hits its absolute peak. If you mess up this meticulous schedule, the social consequences are severe. The city doesn't just leave the bag there. Oh no, your neighbors will actually carry your incorrectly sorted or improperly timed trash all the way back and leave it right on your doorstep. I mean, talk about public accountability. It is the ultimate system of checks and balances playing out right in your hallway.
So we've walked through the hidden reality of renting in Japan. After seeing the mandatory, non-refundable cash gifts just to get in the door, those strict noise curfews because of the paper-thin walls, and the intense name-labeled trash science project you have to navigate every single day, it clearly demands a totally different mindset regarding community, respect, and responsibility. Which leaves us with one final provocative thought. What do you think? Could you survive and adapt to these wild rules of a Japanese apartment? Think about it, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.